Names, places, and titles have been changed for privacy reasons. Watch the video till the end to avoid being scammed. I never thought something like this could happen to me. I wasn't naive. Or at least, I didn't think I was. I'd lived through real things raising 2 kids, losing a husband to cancer, managing a house and bills and health scares on my own. But I was lonely. And loneliness makes you vulnerable in ways you don't expect. It had been 6 years since I lost my husband. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was full of respect, routine, and companionship. After he passed, my days got quieter and my evenings longer. My kids had moved away, I retired from my bookkeeping job, and my world shrank to my living room, my garden, and my cat, Pumpkin. I had no intentions of dating again. Love, I thought, was something that belonged to my past. But that night, I saw an ad online, meet mature singles near you. I clicked, just out of curiosity. I browsed a few profiles, half laughing at the usernames and blurry selfies. Then one profile caught my attention. Stephen Coleman. Widowed. Originally from Ohio. His profile photo showed a kind-looking man with neatly combed silver hair, wearing a pale blue shirt and soft smile. He didn't look flashy. He looked decent. He claimed to be a civil engineer currently working on a project overseas, building infrastructure in West Africa. It sounded exotic, but not unbelievable. I'd met plenty of engineers through my husband's old firm who worked on international contracts. His message was polite and straightforward. Hi, Karen. I know online dating can be a strange experience, but I wanted to say you seem like a lovely woman. I'd enjoy chatting if you're open to it. That's how it started. At first, we exchanged messages through the site. Then we moved to email. Then WhatsApp. He said it was easier for him to message from Ghana, where he was working on a hospital project in Accra. He claimed he'd been widowed for years ago. His wife had died in a car accident, and he never thought he'd be able to love again until recently. He said I reminded him of her not because I looked like her, but because I had a similar warmth and kindness. I didn't know what to say to that, but it made me feel noticed, alive again. We chatted every day, sometimes multiple times. We talked about favorite books, our childhood memories, the kind of weather we liked. He asked about my garden, about Pumpkin, about my dreams, my regrets. He was attentive, gentle, funny, in a quiet, thoughtful way. It felt so real. He sent me photos of himself on what looked like a construction site, wearing a helmet and vest. One with a local worker, smiling under a cloudy sky. Another of him eating a meal of something he called jollof rice. All slightly blurry, but casual enough to feel real. I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, I'd found someone. Not a fairy tale romance, but a partner. A companion for these later years. He told me he was finishing the project soon. That he'd be back in the States in a month or so. He wanted to meet in person. Maybe even visit Missouri. He joked about surviving my cat's judgment. After about 4 weeks of daily messages and calls, I felt I really knew him. I never saw it coming. It was a Sunday afternoon when Stephen first mentioned trouble. He texted me something vague. Not the best day, sweetheart. Dealing with some local red tape. We'll call you later. Miss you. That night, his tone was more serious. His voice didn't sound like the cheerful man I had grown used to. He said there was a hold-up with his equipment at the port. The medical facility he was managing couldn't continue without specific steel components that had just arrived, but the port officials were demanding a processing fee before they would release the materials. Corruption is still common here, he said. It's embarrassing, but I'm stuck. And worse, my company's wire system is down. It might take a week to sort it out. Then came the pause. That strategic pause. I wouldn't normally ask this. I swore I'd never involve you in any of this. But if I could borrow just $1,200 to pay this fee, I could get everything back on track and be home in a few weeks. I'll repay you the moment I land. I didn't answer right away. He noticed. Then came the reassurance. The guilt-flavored flattery. Karen, I respect you too much to make you uncomfortable. If you say no, I completely understand. I hate feeling helpless. And the thought of losing our momentum over a bump like this, that scares me more than anything. He ended the call abruptly, saying his battery was dying. And I couldn't sleep that night. My heart was torn. Part of me thought, this is wrong. Don't do it. But another part, the part that had been craving connection, love, purpose, whispered, help him. Just once. What's $1,200 compared to something real? So I wired it. A week later, I asked if things had been resolved. He said yes, but then added, we ran into another delay. The concrete was contaminated. I had to find another supplier. I'm stretched thin here. He didn't ask for more money. Not yet. Instead, he called more often. Sent voice notes. Called me my angel and my safe place. He even talked about meeting my daughter, Rachel, and going to church together when he returned. He said I'd brought light back into his life. 2 days later, he sent a message. Baby, I was in a car accident. Nothing serious, but my driver's in the hospital. Police are demanding money for medical fees before they release my passport. I don't know what to do. My stomach dropped. He sent a blurry picture of a hospital hallway. A folded blanket. A bandaged hand. $2, $500 would settle everything. I'll be out of here. I'll come home. I'll make it all right. This time, I cried while wiring the money. By now, I had sent nearly $4,000 in total. My daughter noticed something was off. She came to visit that weekend and caught me staring at my phone, biting my lip. Mom, are you okay? You've been jumpy all day. I brushed her off, but she kept pushing gently. I finally told her about Steven, well, most of it. I left out the money part. She raised an eyebrow. Have you sent him anything? No, I lied. Of course not. She warned me anyway. Said there were thousands of scammers using this exact setup. Said the moment a man mentions he's stuck abroad, it's a red flag. I got defensive. Steven is different. You don't know him like I do. Rachel didn't argue. She just hugged me and said, please be careful. I just want you safe. That night, I told Steven what Rachel had said. He responded with kindness. I understand her fear. If my mother were still alive, I'd want her to be protected too. But what we have is real, Karen. I've never lied to you. And I believed him. Again. Then came one final plea. He said he was ready to fly home. His work was officially done. But the Ghanaian government required an exit tax for contractors who earned foreign income. He needed $2,800 to clear it. I hesitated longer than before. I even told him I couldn't afford it. He begged me to just send what I could. Every dollar helps. Please, don't let this be what keeps us apart. I caved. I wired $1,800, every last bit of my emergency fund. After I sent the final $1,800, Steven told me he'd be flying out in 2 days. He even forwarded me what looked like a flight confirmation. I tried to double-check it online, but the booking number didn't show up. He said it was a group corporate ticket and might not be visible in the system. The day of his supposed flight, I waited by my phone all morning. No message. No call. Not even a good morning, sweetheart. I messaged him around noon. Just something simple. Safe travels, Steven. I'm so excited to see you soon. No response. I waited another hour. Then another. By evening, my hands were shaking. I called. Straight to voicemail. I texted again. Are you okay? Nothing. The next morning, still no response. His profile photo on WhatsApp had disappeared. His status no longer showed online or last seen. It was like he had vanished off the face of the earth. That sinking feeling in my stomach bloomed into a full body ache. I knew. Some part of me always knew. But I hadn't wanted to believe it. I spent the next day in a fog. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck, not just emotionally, but physically. My chest hurt. My heart raced. I alternated between sobbing and staring blankly at the wall. When I finally gathered myself enough to act, I drove to the local police station. I told them everything. Every wire transfer. Every message. Every blurry video. The officer was kind, but he looked tired. Like he'd heard this story before. "I'm really sorry, ma'am," he said. "These scammers operate out of places where our jurisdiction doesn't reach. They use fake names, fake photos, and spoof numbers. There's very little we can do." I asked if I could at least file a report. He nodded, took down my information. But before I left, he gently added, "You're not alone. These guys are professionals. They target smart, caring people. Don't blame yourself." But I did. God, I did. I told my daughter the whole truth that night. The lies. The wires. The $7,000 I'd lost, nearly half of my savings. She didn't yell. She didn't say, "I told you so." She just held me and cried with me. Then she helped me freeze my accounts, file a report with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, and set up fraud alerts on my credit. Not a dime was ever recovered. It's been 8 months since the scam. I still sometimes wake up hoping I'll see a message from Steven. I know it sounds crazy, but when someone worms their way into your heart and then rips it out, it leaves a wound that doesn't close easily. I've spent months trying to understand how I let it happen. I thought I was smart, cautious, rational, but love, especially the illusion of it, has a way of clouding your judgment. Looking back now, I can see the red flags I ignored. He was always out of reach. No fixed phone line. No address. Just a string of vague locations and poor connections. He escalated intimacy quickly. Within 2 weeks, he was calling me his love and talking about our future. He always had emergencies, and I was always the only one who could save him. Everything was urgent. Every wire transfer was needed today or right now. And I justified it all. Because I was afraid of losing him. Or maybe more honestly, I was afraid of being alone again. If you're reading this and you're talking to someone online, someone you haven't met in person, please be careful. These scammers don't wear ski masks or speak in broken English anymore. They are intelligent, patient, and frighteningly good at emotional manipulation. They prey on loneliness. They mirror your desires. They weaponize trust. And once you're caught in their net, it's so hard to climb out. If someone you meet online starts asking for money, even for just this once, run. Don't wait for a second red flag. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them anything. You owe yourself protection, dignity, and peace. My name is Karen. I'm a 62-year-old widow. I lost $7,000. I lost my trust. I lost part of my self-worth. But I'm still here. I'm healing. And if my story can keep even one woman from falling into the same trap, it will have been worth the shame I felt in writing it. Please share this. Talk to your loved ones. Warn your mothers, aunts, neighbors, and friends. Love is beautiful, but blind trust is dangerous. Stay safe. Stay smart. And never send money to someone you haven't met in real life. If you watched the video till the end, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It helps the channel grow and share more victim stories with others.